is we're going to first of all draft for the adults, then we go into the children pattern. So the first thing I did is to mark a straight line to serve as our starting point for this. And from that straight line that I mark, I'm going to place my tape there. And then I'm going to go down by 4 inches for my sleeve cap's height. I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line there to mark to just to extend the line. Then the next thing I'm going to mark is the length of the sleeve. We are marking the short sleeve first before we go into the long sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the length of the sleeve. Then from the upper part, the next thing I'm going to do is to go in by 4 inches from the center. Remember, when you want to transfer to your fabric, it's going to be on fold. And then at the top sleeve height line, we're going to insert our upper round sleeve measurement divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches for allowance. Then at these 4 inches that I marked, I'm going to measure whatever I have there into 2. That's from the starting point to the second line. So whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into 2. Then make a point there, and then I'm going to connect the 3 points. That's from the beginning of the sleeve to the center of the 4.5, and then up to the other side. Look at the way I place my ruler. That's exactly how you are going to place your ruler while connecting this line, these lines. So I just went ahead to smoothen the sharp edge that I have there. And then for this down part, I'm going to go ahead and insert my measurement also divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches allowance. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the line. And that's basically it for this sleeve pattern, for this short sleeve pattern. I hope you are enjoying this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you are. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed up to this moment. So for the long sleeve, we are going to go over some of the things that we did earlier for those of us that haven't picked it up yet. So I went down by 4.5 inches for my sleeve cap's height, and then I marked my elbow at 12 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark the length of the sleeve. Then the next thing I did is just to extend the lines that I just marked, the 4.5 inches, the 12 inches, and then the length of my sleeve. Remember, we are drafting for our long sleeve. Then from the beginning of my pattern paper, I'm going to go in by 4 inches. And then from that 4 inches, I'm going to measure whatever I have here and then divide it into 2. That's from the beginning to the cap sleeve height. Sorry about that. I keep these things up most times. Then I inserted my measurements as well, plus 1.5 inches, just like we did on the short sleeve. Then we're going to go ahead and then connect this with our curve. You can actually do this with your hand, just like I usually tell you guys. Just make it look like you want to write a long S, and then that's how you're going to connect it. Then for our elbow, mine is about 12 to 13 inches. I can't really remember as of when editing this video. But you're going to divide yours into 2, then also add 1.5 inches allowance for allowance. Then for my wrist, just measure yours and make sure that whatever you have, you'll be able to pull it out from your hand, especially when it doesn't have an opening or a button. And also remember to add your 1.5 inches allowance. That's all. The next thing you're going to do is to connect the lines, the points that we just marked. And that's all for this long pattern. You're going to go ahead and cut it out and then make pattern for children sleeve. So this is the long and this is the short one. I'm going to go ahead and measure this so that we'll be sure that we have our measurement divided by 2 plus some inches that we added for our allowance. So I measured it and I discovered that I have my Then remaining one is just for my allowance. I will also check this as well. If you have put yours very well, just like I did, you're going to have the exact same thing that I have. That's your measurement divided by 2, then plus your allowance. Then for the children, or the next first thing we're going to do is to mark our sleeve cap's height at 3 inches, and then the length of our sleeve. We are marking the short sleeve. We are marking just the short sleeve, just the same way you mark the long for adults. Go ahead and do the same thing for this children own. But for now, we are marking just the short sleeve. And I went ahead to extend the line on this. Then at the starting point, I'm going in by 2 inches. And then, just like we did for the adults, we're going to go ahead and divide this line into 2, this space into 2, and then make a point there. Then for the upper round measurements, I'm going to divide it into 2, mark mine, and then add 1.5 inches allowance. At this place, I'm going to also divide into 2 and then mark 1.5 inches allowance. Then, the next thing to do is to connect the points together, the 3 points together with our fob or with your free hand, whichever that is available for you. Then also connect the other lines, and that's all for this style, for this pattern. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. Do not leave today without subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.